Welcome back, lads and lasses, to another video. So this one's a more serious topic that I'm touching on today, and it's touching on that I am a father to a daughter, but I think any parent feels this at the minute, whether you're a parent to a daughter or a son. I am severely worried about the world that my little one is going to be growing up into, because the state of the country at the minute is ridiculous. I cannot fathom the world that we live in now, where we've got so many violent crimes and so many violent crimes against women and girls and boys being committed. It's more of sexual crimes that's been committed against women and girls, but there are violent crimes happening against boys and young men as well. And it's a continuing statistic that keeps popping up. And I am genuinely scared for my little girl's future, as would many parents with young children be worried for their children's future in this world, especially in the UK right now. Because there's a lot of things that are happening now. One of the things, and it's a very sensitive topic to many people, and I don't care if I offend you with this, but immigration is one of them, and illegal migration being the major one, because there are so many undocumented people, young male people coming into this country that we don't know their background, what they do or what they've done previously, that we are opening our borders and opening our country to violent criminals. Now, I admit not all of them are there to come and commit violent crimes, or there are some genuine asylum seekers and genuine migrants that are looking for safety, and I totally get that. But unfortunately, it's the minority that ruin it for the majority, and we've had enough. I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of seeing headlines and news articles where it's foreigners or migrants, illegal migrants, people that are here that have no documentation to be here and no legal right to be here, that cause violent crimes against people of this country. And it's not just violent crimes, it's little things that are happening in this country. Christmas markets 20 years ago, 15, maybe even 15, 10 years ago, did not have the security that it does now. Why are we having to put armed security, concrete bollards, and all this major protection? It's not just the UK, it's all throughout Europe. Why are we needing to protect our Christmas markets? Because some radicalist thugs of a certain religion, now again, it's not these people, not all these people in this religion are radicals, but it's the minority that ruin it for the majority again. It's these radicalists in this religion that are ruining it, driving and ploughing into people or running around stabbing people, which is why we've got armed security and concrete bollards at these Christmas markets now. They've even got them, it isn't even Christmas markets, they've got them all around Edinburgh, they've got them all around London, they've got them all around any major capital city in the UK and along in the EU and in Europe. All because we can't be safe in our own cities anymore. We can't be safe in our own countries. Poland is a major example of this. Poland has the lowest violent crime rate in Europe, and their Prime Minister has not allowed one single illegal migrant into the country. And the Polish army are protecting the borders from these invaders. And they are the safest country in Europe, the safest country in the EU, and have one of the lowest violent crime rates in Europe. So surely that tells you something. And as well, it's not just immigrants, but it's just violent crimes in general. Violent crime has risen so much in my lifetime, and I have seen it rise, and it is just not acceptable. And the police and the government are doing nothing about it, because they would rather go online, find people that are speaking out against the government or speaking out against certain opinions and ideologies and anything like that. They're literally looking for people of a different opinion, and they are going to make an example of these people, not the people that are causing and killing innocent people, or, you know, traumatizing young girls, committing violent crimes against young boys and young men. No, they don't want to make an example of those people. They want to make an example of the people that speak out against it and speak out against the government and have a different opinion than the mainstream narrative. That's the people they want to make an example of, and it's fucking disgusting, because the majority of people in the UK all share the views that things in this country need to change, and if they don't change soon, there is going to be something major happen, because the everyday working, the everyday person, the everyday Brit, we've had enough. Something needs to change in this country. Something in this government needs to change. The blood of all these people, all these innocent people that have been shed, are on the hands of not just this Labour government and Keir Starmer. It's on the previous governments as well. The Conservatives, it's on their hands, because they were the ones that started this. They were the ones that were in power and started this. Now, one of the things that I will say about the Conservative government, now I'm not a Conservative by any means of the imagination, but one thing I will say is they at least realised that there was a problem and came up with a solution. Now, it might not have been a fantastic solution, but at least it was a solution. And as soon as Labour got into power, they scrapped that solution. And we are now back at square one. Now, Keir Starmer has said that these migrant hotels and all these places are going to be shut down by the new year. There is going to be none in 2026. Now, I'm calling bullshit, because there are still so many, and we are already a third of the way through December, and there is nothing changed. Nothing is changing, and that's down to the government. And everyday people are starting to have enough. And look, people are scared of being called right wing or far right. I'd rather be called far right than far left. There's nothing wrong with being on one side of the political stands. And recently it's just been a term that's been thrown about because people want to throw it about. They want to make it some form of insult, or, you know, they're making derogatory, it's a derogatory term, and they want people of the far right to be vilified for whatever reason. We're told that hanging Union Jacks, St George's crosses, St Andrew's crosses, that's all far right, and you can't hang those flags. Yet people are marching through city centres with Palestinian flags, hanging Palestinian flags from government buildings. Government's being complicit in taking down our country's flags to hang Palestinian flags. For what reason? There is no reason. You can have an opinion on these events, but don't shove it down everybody's throats. Don't then come here, or don't let it come here, and start demanding that these flags get put up, that start demanding that we do something, start demanding that, you know, we need to be okay with these flags being up in our own country, but yet we can't hang our flags because that's seen as far right and racist. Yeah, you're on planet fucking cuckoo if you're thinking like that, honestly, because we're British. We should be allowed to hang our own flags. Can you imagine if all of these left-wing fascists, I'm going to call them, because it's their way or no way. Can you imagine if they all said, oh, you can't hang the American flag anymore because it's racist, but we need to hang the Palestinian ones instead? Every town, almost every house in the United States has an American flag hanging outside. There would be civil war, civil uproar in America. So why are we putting up with it? And I'm not saying, this isn't me calling for any action, but why are we putting up with this? Something needs to change. We've done peaceful protests in London where hundreds of thousands, if not millions, turned up in London, And they were all called far-right, fascists, racists, whatever you want to call them, but they weren't. They are everyday, normal people. And that hasn't worked. So, what we need to do is we need to extend that. Not just London. Every capital city, every major city in the UK need people to turn up. Manchester, Birmingham, well, London, Cardiff, Edinburgh, Newcastle, fucking any big city. Turn up, peacefully protest against this. Bring your Union Jacks. Bring any flag. Home country flags. Be patriotic and show how proud you are to be a part of the UK. Show the government that we are not going to be bullied into thinking that we can't be proud of our heritage. Be proud of where you're from, and don't take any of this narrow narrative shit from people. We shouldn't be kneeling to a minority. We shouldn't be kneeling to the government who are kneeling to this minority. The French won't stand for it. The Germans are starting not to stand for it. Let's take a leaf out of their book and let's not stand for it. Let's go and protest against our governments. Call a general election. Starmer, you've lost all faith in the British people. We have no faith in you. And it's the same up in Scotland. We've got no faith in you either, John Swinney. There are things happening up here, violent crimes against women, that are happening up here. So, you know, call an election, because we've had enough. We want something different. Not everyone does, but the majority of people do. So do yourselves a favour. Step down. Step down. Call a general election. Let somebody else come in. Because the people are starting to speak. And we want change.